There it goes.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a few moments. This is going to be a
Hey, it's
recorded
Alan. I'm
session.
unmuted now, I think.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you're
Welcome
good.
in. All right, time is 3:32. It's a short session. Let's go ahead and get this underway. And I know, Robert, you will promote people as they come in, however you see fit. That is perfect. Let me just. All right. Can everybody see my screen okay? Shared screen?
Yes.
Looks good.
Fantastic. Glad everybody can talk. Well, welcome in. This is a short session. I definitely want to have some questions that I can answer live at the end of the presentation. Please type them in the Q&A, the chat. Feel free to butt in. It is a small group, so that's A-OK. My name is Albert Escobedo, and I'm with the Arizona Commerce Authority. I work with Robert and Faith on the small business team. And I'm assuming most of you are Robert's constituents out there in the business world. But if you're not and you are a client, welcome on. We hope to answer some questions that you have about the newly formed Small Business Lending Academy. So whether or not, let me just move this, you are a client or you have some clients in mind for this program, I want to be able to explain what the program is generally and who would be appropriate for it and to apply. Also, what the curriculum looks like if applicants are accepted, and also what that grading process looks like from the Commerce Authority. That way, when you have a client or if you go ahead and apply on your own, you're going to have a good idea on what we're looking for. We don't want to have any secrets here. We want to be upfront with what we're looking for as graders and what we're looking for as participants coming into the program. The Lending Academy General Info, it's a program designed for what I've been calling middle of the road businesses that are preparing for lending under $50,000. Now, to be clear, at the end of this program, so let's say you have a client or you go through the program, this is not a loan program within itself. Just want to make that clear. What we're doing is we're taking businesses that have been formed for a couple of years and we're helping them through that lending process. So in a little bit, I'll show you exactly what those deliverables are going to be if a participant goes through the program. But just to make clear that this is an assistance for lending program, not a outcome of we're going to lend you under $50,000 from the ACA. We are going to actually provide those critical services so you can garner your paperwork for a sub $50,000 loan. As much as we love small startups here, with in the small business team at the Commerce Authority, this is not meant for startups or new businesses. I know there are gray areas at times, and that's why this info session is great. You can reach out and talk to me if you have any questions. But this is typically not going to be for new businesses, even in the ideation phase. This is for that support that they're going to need for a sub $50,000 loan. Now, this program, since it is funded by the State Small Business Credit Initiative Technical Assistance Program, don't say that 5 times in a row, we are looking for SETI and VSBs, which are socially, economically, and disadvantaged individuals, SETI, and very small businesses for entrance in this program. So we're trying to help some of the most marginalized businesses. And on our website, we do have links to what SETI means because it's a very broad category. It's not just by demographic. It could be where your business is set up, where the location is, if you've faced any past prejudice while you're, in life or in business. So we have all that specific criteria there. VSB is a little simpler to explain. Any business under 10 employees. So 9, 8, 7, all the way to 1 would be considered a VSB, very small business. So some of the qualifications for businesses to apply, they must meet the following requirements below. So you're preparing to seek a loan under $50,000. Okay, if you're looking at, 75, 100,000, we could still support you with other programs that we have. So we have an outlet for you, but this is generally for those under $50,000 for this specific program. You have a yearly gross revenue of under $250,000. Must be in business at least 2 years, active, not just established. So what that means is if you incorporate it as an LLC, you could be in a perpetual good standing for a couple of years without any actual business. So we want to make sure that you're actually doing transactions and you have business for about 2 years plus. That's more of a lender requirement that we want to make sure that we meet. We talked a little bit about SETI or VSB. You could be both. Many businesses that we serve on the small business team are both SETI and VSB. We have those determining factors on our website that we'll share here today. 2 years of personal federal income tax returns and the previous year's business tax return. For sole proprietors that file on their personal income tax returns, obviously you're not going to have a business specific tax return since you file on your personal. That's okay. We have that option in the application. We just want to make sure that there is income verification of the business when you're going through this process, because we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like and why that's very important. Must be in Arizona. It's one of the requirements. This is a big one. Have a financial system in place to track business expenditures and income. It could be QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Xero, Wave. You have an accountant, have a bookkeeper. We need some semblance of tracking. Okay. And the reason for that is part of our program, our 7 weeks, we're going to be paying for you to sit down with a CPA one-on-one in weeks 3 through 5. And they're going to need something to work with. They're not magicians. I wish they were, but they're CPAs. And what they need is to work off of those financial systems that you have in place. Doesn't need to look good, but there needs to be a semblance of something there so they can work with. That's why one of those requirements is there.
And Albert, did you mention, if I missed it, I apologize, that Excel does not count?
Correct. So if you do have, let's say you're tracking your finances in Excel, that's okay for you right now. And that's not going to eliminate you from entrance in the program. But just to be clear, if you do have Excel, the contracted CPAs we talk with, they are going to recommend and require you to go to a more, say, legit, because that's kind of just another software. And they recommend QuickBooks, or they recommend Peachtree as well. If you don't have those subscriptions, we have a process of going over that, and that's, we'll talk about that as an applicant by applicant basis. But if the whole gist is, if you do track your accounts in Excel, that's going to need to be changed in weeks 3 through 5, and that's what the role of the CPA is. So that will be on an applicant by applicant basis. I think most applicants right now into the program that I've just briefly looked at are in QuickBooks. Thank you for that question, Robert. So should your client apply, or should you apply? Again, there's a little bit of gray area sometimes, so it's always good to ask any of these questions. If you've been in business for 2+ years, you have a positive cash flow, you're ready to apply for lending, you're seeking under $50,000 in your SETI or VSB, this is leaning towards this program may be for you. There are a couple of slight nuances, but generally that's what we're looking for. And that's what we feel participants and applicants can match to that program. This program may not be for you if you're still in the idea phase of your business. If you're seeking lending, but you have no revenue, you have no positive cash flows, and you're seeking funding over $50,000, or you're seeking equity capital, which is just venture capital. This is a brick and mortar lending style program, so it's not going to fit our venture capital startups that we typically see. I would just say personally, if you're on the fence in between, if this program is for you, go ahead and apply. Because even if we don't select you for this program, we can provide you services so you can be viable to enter this program if it comes up again in the future, which we plan to. So it's not, I'd rather have you apply. We could take a look at it. Worst thing we could say is no, here's what you need to do before you come back and apply again in the future. Here is kind of the application itself. So the demographics, I want to make clear, and it does state that in the application, they are ungraded. That will not affect your application. That'd be discriminatory. So your demographics are just, those are the reporting guidelines that we need for our applicants. Business qualifications, those are ungraded, but are qualifying. So a good example is, I'm looking for $300,000 in lending. Well, this is a sub $50,000 program. So we're not going to grade that, but again, that's just one of the bare minimum requirements of the program, like we mentioned earlier. The admittance questions are graded. And I just want to, we want to hear a little bit about why you fit this program. It is a little bit intensive with work. It's 7 weeks. There will be work that is due. There will be follow-up. There will be constant communication. And we want to make sure that we're not putting your business or you in a tough spot week one. And we want to make clear that this is an intensive 7 week program. And week one, it's like, okay, I can attend the sessions and that's about it. I don't need to do any work. We want to be very clear that it is intensive, it is structured, but it is tailored and beneficial towards those that are seeking lending. So our applications open actually a little sooner than September 2nd. They're open right now. We do have a couple of applications. Today's the info session, and the 20th of September, the applications close. The 23rd through 26th, applications will be reviewed, and applicants would be selected and notified on September 27th through October 3rd. Please respond to those emails. I will be emailing and calling you if you're selected, just so we're on the same page, because we will hit the ground running. This is very structured, very one-on-one, and we're only accepting 10 applicants, and we want to make sure that everybody has that personalized feel and they don't feel like they're just part of this massive group. So the design of the program is to be very client-centered. So here's the curriculum and what you could expect. It's 7 weeks. Let me start with the deliverables and then we'll go backwards here. So what am I going to get out of this program, Albert? If you're not giving me funding, why do I want to be here? That's a great question. Okay. One of the things that lenders look at under $50,000 is a lot of character-based lending. Now, what that means is what type of person, what type of business are you towards the community? We care about your financials, but we also care about the person that's asking for the lending. We've spoken with a couple of micro lenders and they really stress that character building phase. So you're going to learn how to construct a lean business plan. There's traditional, there's lean. Lean is a little bit more condensed. You're also going to be taught how to present that plan, not only to the lender, but if you're out and about and you're looking for funding and you need to go ahead and, hey, I need to mention this, talk to this person in a couple of minutes, you'll be trained and versed on how to explain what you're seeking, how much you're seeking, why you're seeking it, and how this is going to affect your company. So this is huge part of the under $50,000 loan lending process. With the CPAs in weeks 3 through 5, they'll make sure that you have a good grip on your 12-month business projections, year-to-date profit and loss statement, P&Ls, and year-to-date balance sheet. So that really matters when you are inputting data, making sure it's in the correct spot, making sure you're accounting correctly. And the CPAs also are going to give you a landscape on how much lending you should ask for, right? Because if your balance sheet says something else or your financials say something else, we need somebody to say, hey, let's request $15,000 instead of 30, and this is why. Not only are your CPAs going to guide you with that, but they're also going to set you up for future financial success and structure through one-on-one interactions as well. So they're not just going to say hi and bye at weeks 5. They're going to give you a roadmap for future success, because hopefully this isn't the only time that you use lending to scale up your firm, but you understand kind of what that process is to move forward. So going back to weeks 1 through 7, we hit the ground running October 9th, introduction to lending. It's going to talk about simple business practices and principles. You'll also meet with your CPA for an initial consultation. Week 2, we'll go over understanding debt lending. And I'm sorry, let me back up to week 1. We'll go over our learning software. We're going to be using Google Classroom because there will be work due per participant per week. We'll talk about what that looks like. And like I said, this is a requirement of this program. Clients are going to be asked to complete a series of tasks. I don't want to use the word homework. It's kind of juvenile. I'll go back to my teaching days. But that is something that's going to be required of the business. Weeks 3 through 5, you're going to be drafting your lean business plan step by step with one of our lenders or even Commerce Authority staff presenting that. That's also going to be when you meet with your CPAs one-on-one, paid for by the program. And that's when they're going to kick off a review of your financial statements to see how viable you are for the amount of money you're requesting. Week 6, you're preparing to pitch your business plan as it goes through completion. Yours truly is going to teach you how to talk on webcam. It's a little bit different from talking in person, but portraying your idea, being fluid with your movements, with your talking points, and really getting your point across without nearly talking as much with your lean business plan. And then week 7, you're going to pitch your business plan. We'll have a panel of either 3 to 5 members outside of the program that are going to hear your business plan, give you some, I'd say, constructive criticism so you can make those adjustments, tidy them up. And that is also graduation time as well. So you'll be receiving a certificate of completion. And the outcome is you're hopefully prepared to submit your lending after the program is concluded. Robert, did you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, so what's really important here, and we'll get to some questions, and a number of you I know very well, they're out there listening, will have some feedback. We have some lenders that have been helping Albert with this program. They'll be presenting at different spots. They very much want to lend to the participants at the end of this program. And so the full completion of this program, attendance, doing the assigned tasks or homework, will help really establish a strong review or strong part of that character component that the CDFIs are looking at in the micro lending space. And so we actually had one of them say, if they all finish this 100%, I anticipate giving them all loans in that space. So and this is also a beta class. So this is our first run. So we are open to feedback throughout. And if the feedback is well, and it does result like we think it will in some loans, then we will continue to do it throughout next year multiple times.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robert, for that. Yes, we have a lot of support from an outside lender. And this program was built based off the requirements of general microfunding. So it's not like I woke up one day, was like, hey, let me just put this together. It might work. This is what they're asking for. We want to not only pay for those professionals to help guide you through this program, but we want to make sure that you have an outcome towards the end of it, aside from just a certificate, a lean business plan, learning how to present in front of others, and also getting your correct financial statements on track. All right. I can take a deep breath here. The presentation, as far as what I have for you, is over. If we have any questions, I'd be glad to take them, either in the chat or I think people.
And I made it so everybody can speak, so you can unmute yourself and just ask a question.
Fantastic.
I have a question. This is Ruth Ellen Alinsky, and I'm with the Small Business Development Center at Yavapai College. It's just a clarifying question. And I don't know if you can tell me or not, but I'm just curious. So are the funds coming from lenders, or are the funds coming from the ACA? Like, and what are the terms of the loans? Or are they different depending on the lender?
So I can take that question. So there's 2 parts of funds. I just want to clarify both. To pay for the program comes to the SSBCI TA fund under those requirements. So that's one side where we're able to pay for a program like this and create it. On the other side, as far as lending, we're not, if an applicant goes through this program, we're not endorsing one specific micro lender. So they should have a complete packet and be ready to apply for the couple that are here in the state. And those terms are going to be at the mercy of the lender. So it is hard to estimate. I mean, prime rate is most likely what they're going to use for that. But as far as terms and different things, it's going to be exclusive to the lender that they decide to go for. We do have a resource sheet at the end of the program where it lists the micro lenders in Arizona where clients are able to go and utilize what they've completed in the program.
Yeah, and we'll have some of those lenders will be with us doing some of the presentations. I will say Growth Partners has been instrumental in helping with this. So Andre has been very helpful, and he'll present at least one or more portions of this class. But yeah, the actual loan is from a CDFI, CIC, or potentially a bank if they do microloan.
Okay, and so then that list will be provided at some point down the road on what the options are.
Correct. So the Google Classroom that we're using has different materials and resources tabs. So applicants will always have that once they're introduced into the class. They'll be able to pull from that resource page at any time. Those will be available for them.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the
And we want to
question.
say, hey, recognize Ruth Ellen because she's part of one of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce top 100 small businesses. Congratulations.
Hey, congrats.
You
It's
can drop
fantastic.
travel trailers.
Congrats.
Thanks, Robert.
Robert just knows everybody here. I'm a little jealous. Alan, I see you have your hand up. What do we have for you?
Oh,
What
yeah,
question?
Albert, thanks a lot. Yeah, I feel like I submitted a compelling application, but I didn't see the fine print about the years in business until after I submitted. So I'm probably going to be self-disqualifying with only 1 year under my belt. So I'll wait for the go, no-go email, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Alan, like I said, it's always good to apply. We'll take a look at it. I know I've discussed with Robert internally that we do have 10 applicants for this.
Mhm.
But if some people don't contact us during that opportunity and a spot opens up, we're willing to take a look at the other applicants that we have.
Sure.
But that's as far as I can speak to because we haven't graded
Oh,
them
yeah,
yet.
yeah. No, I'm from the let them say no school. So I got thick skin. I can take the feedback. So I'm not worried about it. But
You know,
yeah, I on everything that I've looked at, and I really like what you're doing, and I think it's a smart approach. And right now at my stage, I could use all the smarts I can find.
yeah, and Alan,
Absolutely.
again, thank you for applying, and for the SBC team that's on here with Ruth Ellen, Tori, Marie, and Karen. If you have clients that are close to those parameters, just reach out to Albert or myself and let's talk about it because we'd rather see them apply. And if we need to do 12, we might do 12. If there's 8, there's 8. But those are general guidelines for the application process. They're not hard, written in stone, immovable pieces.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Tina,
Oh, hi. Yeah, I have the same issue than Alan. I opened up a little bit more than a year ago, so I probably not qualify for this program, but I am very interested in getting my correct financials in order and be ready for a loan in the near future. So, sorry, I didn't read the terms and conditions completely.
did you apply?
That's
I did apply, but it's not 2 years in the business. It's less than 2 years.
Yeah, we'll still take a look at that.
yes.
And so it's not going to necessarily rule you out. So we'll take a look at your application.
If you don't mind some feedback, I think it would have been nice on the application where it had the LinkedIn business, it had 0, 1, 2, and I think 3+. If there'd been some kind of qualifier on there about, hey, this is really geared toward, 2 or more years in business, because that it would have taken some of the ambiguity out of, how long in business are you looking for?
I appreciate that feedback, Alan. That is essential. And if that makes it a little bit more clear, absolutely for that adjustment moving forward.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because I answered it truthfully 1 year. And then I think it was afterwards and everything I didn't see the fine print as somebody pointed out about the 2 year thing. So that there could have been just a little better clarity on the questionnaire. That's all.
Well, thank you for that, Alan. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Any more questions? We have a couple minutes left. Any more questions? Got a couple people in here. All right. just to reiterate, we do close our applications on the 20th of this month. So make sure if you do have clients, even if they're on the fence about it and they need to talk to myself or Robert, please let us know. We'd be glad to chat with them to clarify anything that they may need. For those that apply that maybe, hey, I'm not been in business for 2 years, kind of on, the year and a half or year mark. It's great that you applied. We're all going to touch base with you regardless of the outcome. But we're glad that you're in the pipeline and you've applied, and we can't wait to serve you, if not here, in another capacity.
And, Tori, Ruth Ellen, if you share with your team members, you may have clients that might be ready for this. If they don't fit that 2-year mark, just call us and talk to us, and let's look, discuss them if we can, to see if they might be able to squeeze in.
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I will hang back here for the next 3 minutes. But if you don't have any more questions, have yourself a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and we look forward to helping out you or your clients.
Adios.
Thanks.
See you later.
I guess no questions. No more. Go and pause this.